Hello, I'm Patrick Christie's and this is GBN Originals. Well, ladies and gents, I'm about to take you on a journey that will make your head spin faster than a politician's moral compass. Today, we are looking into military technology and human enhancement. Picture this, a squad of elite soldiers running on just 3 hours of shut-eye, yet performing as if they've had a full 8 hours of beauty sleep. Sounds like something out of a Hollywood blockbuster, doesn't it? Well, the US Defense Advanced Research Projects Agency, bit of a mouthful, so let's just call it DARPA, is working on making this bonkers idea a reality. They've cooked up a program with a name longer than the queue at the post office, re-engineering enabling sleep transitions in operationally restrictive environments, or RESTORE for short. What it boils down to is this. They want to keep our boys in uniform sharp as tacks, even when they're running on fumes. Well, they're not talking about pumping our lads full of energy drinks or handing out uppers like candy at Halloween. No. They are diving into the world of non-invasive neuromodulation. In simpler terms to you and me, they're looking to mess with the brain without cracking open any skulls. They're not just aiming to keep soldiers awake. The goal is to maintain full cognitive performance after just 3 to 6 hours of shut-eye. It's like they're trying to create a real-life version of Bradley Cooper in Limitless, but without those dodgy little pills. They're focusing on something called sleep microarchitectures. Now, before you start thinking this is all just hush-hush military stuff, let me tell you, there's already a company in Spain called NISA, and they are playing around with similar technology. They're claiming to enhance sleep quality by fiddling with the nervous system. They're even boasting about improving athletes' performance. It just makes you wonder if we'll be seeing footballers with electrodes strapped to their heads during half-time, doesn't it? But here's where it gets a bit dystopian, if it wasn't already. So, do you remember that bloke, Yuval Noah Harari? The one who's always banging on about those future where there's fancy Davos meetings and all of this stuff. Well, he's painted a picture that's enough to give you nightmares. So imagine a world where everyone is forced to wear a biometric bracelet, constantly monitoring your vitals and your brain activity. He went as far as to say, you listen to a speech on the radio by the great leader, and they know what you actually feel. You can clap your hands and smile, but if you're angry, they know that you'll be in the gulag tomorrow morning. Now, I don't know about you, but that sounds like something straight out of George Orwell's worst fever dream. It's enough to make you want to wrap your head in tinfoil and live in a cave. Have you been getting a load of spam in your email recently? What about random calls? It's really annoying, isn't it? Data brokers are out there collecting your personal information. Anything from your email, your full name, your address, and even your political affiliation. Cyber criminals can even use AI to mimic the voices of friends and family to trick people into sending them money. And it gets even worse. People out there are getting huge loans taken out in their names without even knowing about it. But don't worry, because the sponsor of this video, Incogni, can help. They reach out to the data brokers on your behalf and request that your information is removed from their databases. Incogni continues to make sure that your data is removed automatically from the internet via repeated removal requests. So, how can you get started? Well, step 1, hit the link in the description, create an Incogni account and tell us whose data you'd like removed. Step 2, grant Incogni the right to work on your behalf. Step 3, sit back, relax and watch Incogni work. They will update consistently so you know when your data has been removed. Incogni is risk-free for 30 days, so you can try it for yourself and you'll get a free refund if the service isn't for you. So take back your personal data today with Incogni. Use the code GBNews using the link in the description below and you'll get 60% off an annual payment plan. So, what are we to make of all of this then? Well, on the one hand, the idea of soldiers being able to perform at their very best on minimal sleep and save lives in combat situations, I mean, that kind of sounds quite good, doesn't it? Let's face it, war isn't exactly known for its comfortable sleeping arrangements. If this technology could help our soldiers stay alert and make better decisions in the heat of battle, that's not necessarily a bad thing. But on the other hand, we're treading quite dangerously close, I think, to turning humans into programmable machines. Isn't that a slippery slope, really? Today it's soldiers. I think we can all see where this is going, though, can't we? You know, tomorrow it's night shift workers. And then before you know it, we're all walking around with brain zappers trying to squeeze 40 hours of productivity into a 24-hour day. And let's not kid ourselves. once this technology is out there, it's not going to stay confined to the military, is it? Before you can say corporate overreach, we'll have bigwigs demanding their employees strap on these gizmos to squeeze out a few more hours of productivity. Now let's talk about the elephant in the room here, privacy. If these devices can monitor our brain activity and manipulate our sleep patterns, what's to stop them from being used for more nefarious purposes? It's not a huge leap from we're monitoring your sleep to keep you alert to we're monitoring your thoughts to keep you in line. Imagine a world where your boss knows exactly how you feel about their latest PowerPoint presentation, or where the government can tell if you're lying on your tax return just by checking your brain waves. And then there's the whole ethical can of worms that this opens up. If we can enhance human performance through technology, where do we draw the line? Is it fair for soldiers with access to this tech to fight against those without it? Will we see the emergence of a new class divide, the sleep enhanced versus the rest of us mere mortals who still need a good 8 hours? And what about the long-term effects? Sure, being able to function on 3 hours of sleep might sound great now, but what's it doing to our bodies and minds in the long run? Are we trading our future health for short-term gains? Look, I'm all for scientific progress, don't get me wrong. If we never pushed the boundaries, we'd still be living in caves and hunting mammoths and whatever else. But we need to tread carefully here. We're not just talking about making better soldiers or more productive workers. We are talking about fundamentally altering human biology and potentially compromising our privacy and autonomy. So, while DARPA charge ahead with their grand plans for sleep-deprived super soldiers, I think it's high time we had a serious conversation about where we draw the line. Because if we're not careful, we might wake up one day to find that we've sleepwalked our way into a brave new world, and it might not be one we particularly like. So remember, sometimes a good old-fashioned nap might be all we need. No fancy brain zapping required. There's something to be said for letting nature take its course, I think. And after all, we've managed to get this far as a species without needing to rewire our brains, haven't we? In the end, it all comes down to this. Do we want to live in a world where our thoughts and our feelings are no longer our own? Where our very consciousness can be manipulated by those in power? I think it's a bit chilling, isn't it? So the next time you're tossing and turning, unable to sleep, just remember, it could actually be a lot worse. You could have a military-grade neuromodulator strapped to your head, forcing you to be perky and productive. Sometimes being a bit groggy in the morning is a small price to pay for maintaining our humanity. Thank you for watching. This has been Patrick Christie's. Please don't forget to subscribe to the GB News YouTube channel for much more.
At GB News, we believe in the power of free speech. We're not afraid to ask the tough questions, challenge the status quo, and give you a voice. While others silence dissent, we champion the truth. So by becoming a GB News member, you're not just supporting free speech, you're defending it. Please do consider supporting us today. Together, we'll hold the powerful to account and make sure your voice is always heard. Simply go to gbnews.com/support and stand with us for what matters most.
At GB News, we believe in the power of free speech. We're not afraid to ask the tough questions, challenge the status quo, and give you a voice. While others silence dissent, we champion the truth. By becoming a GB News member, you're not just supporting free speech, you're defending it. Please consider supporting us today. Together, we'll hold the powerful to account and make sure that your voice is always heard. Simply go to gbnews.com/support and stand with us for what matters most.